Yeah, there's no pressure. Honestly, I think within all teams, within this playoff, we have by far the most experience. Everybody else, they might feel the pressure and they might think about it as in if they have to get top 2 or everything is terrible in their lives, and you know, they put their own pressure on them, and especially with like some community pressure on the favorites or teams that think they aren't going to do well at all. They're going to put a lot of pressure on themselves. But even though we had a bad split 2 performance, I feel none of that. I know what it takes, and I think we all do, and we know how to win. So we're just going to go out there and just do what we know.
I honestly think the main thing that like helped us a lot was Vic started playing with like insane amount of confidence, and like we all knew that he was insane, but I think before he was playing a little bit more reserved, and now he's like unleashed, and I think he was the key to us winning more games.
Well, yeah, it's my life. This is what I, pretty much dedicated my life to since I was 18. Pretty much 6 years, as long as I can remember. It's the craft that I love to work towards. It's like chasing perfection, even though it's pretty unattainable, and that chase is just what I enjoy. So as much as it would be easy to sit here and say, like, if I just got into a franchise roster, anybody, and the journey's pretty much already done. You're already at the top, and then all you have to do is just want to win and qualify to lands. Just even adding on in challengers to just qualify to get to that, it's like an unrelenting chase, and I like it.
I would say as an IGL, I think I see the game like a little differently. Like what I'm thinking about and like what our coaching staff is thinking about is like a bigger picture, and then we bring like the small parts from the bigger picture that we're trying to change to our players that we think they need to see, instead of like overloading people with information like how we want to play the map differently. It's like, okay, so when we play this, I want you to do this, instead of it's like, okay, so I'm going to sit here and explain like how I want to play Haven for like an hour and 45 minutes. It's like people are probably not going to receive that as well, but if you give them like little missions or like little quests to go on, I think people tend to receive it a lot better. So that's typically how I'd like to do it. I mean, been putting in a lot of time. Hopefully it shows in playoffs. Never know in Valorant, never know in Esports, but I'm pretty happy and I'm excited to play.
Yeah, so the journey so far, all the way back from Split 1, is that we were playing really well. We did really well in Split 1, all things considered, and MSI, we had a good performance, we got second. Split 2, we faltered, but I think we are on the path back before playoffs. We're in a really good place right now with the camp, and yeah, I'm excited.
Obviously the journey wasn't like what we expected or wanted, especially the first split went really bad, but after we got Vanity for the second split, I think we've been like showing more of what people expected of us and what we expected. Obviously the TSM game and the Oxygen game were pretty bad, but the TSM game was our first game as a team, and the Oxygen game they just outplayed us, and we weren't on that day. But I guess it's been pretty rocky if I had to like sum it up, but all that matters is we made it.
I would say just like that, like putting in like the work is what got us to qualify. I feel like we're putting in a pretty decent amount of hours compared to a lot of teams. At least that's what it feels like. But I think that's the biggest thing. Is like, I think another thing is if we ask people to do like things, like they're gonna do it. They might not like want to do it or like it, but they're gonna do it and they'll bring it. And I think that's lacks on some teams. But I think that's something that we're pretty good about. Is if like I ask someone to bring something or find something, they're gonna find it and bring it. So it's pretty good. I like the team environment a lot. I think we put in a lot of work, and hopefully we can get the results in playoffs.